favourite Irish song of all time, and the best Irish song of all time, is North and South of the River by Christy Moore and U2. I prefer by far the Christy Moore version. Probably Christy Moore and Declan Sinnott playing in the Barrowlands in Glasgow, where I was. I got to go see it there. Heard him play it twice there. Absolutely fantastic. I used to be in a folk band, Sparrowea. We used to play it every single night, everywhere, and it's an absolute gem of a song. I think it was out in 1995. I can't remember his name, but Christy Moore said that he actually wrote it over about 20 years. He must have started writing some of the words with a fella from Balahi in Derry, and he said it took him 20 years and he finished it when he wrote it with the Edge and U2. And yeah, that's my favourite song, and can't be beaten in my opinion.
I'm going to tell you about the first time I heard my favourite Irish group. It is 1995. I had bought tickets for Celine Dion and we're in the Ulster Hall, King's Hall, sorry, we're in the King's Hall. And I'm third row from the front. I'm very excited. Celine Dion was huge at the time, and we paid a lot of money for these tickets. I want Celine Dion. Dion, 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 Dion. Anyway, we get told there's a warm-up group going to play for a while, and I went, I don't need a warm-up group. It's just taking time off Celine Dion. I'm already warmed up. Bring her on. Dion, Dion, Dion. Nobody really wanted a warm-up group, especially a local warm-up group. Bleh. Anyway, this group comes on. 3 girls, 2 guys. One of the girls is really very young. A lot of heavy makeup, and then we discover she's playing drums. And a violin, and a boron, and a flute, and a couple of guitars, and you think, right, really, we're here for the sounds of Celine Dion. So anyway, they start to warm up, and just warming up, they were just brilliant. They made those instruments sound like I've never heard those instruments sound, and it was as unplugged as could be. We were third row from the front, so I could hear everything and see everything. And they warmed themselves up and they started playing, and they played very traditional Irish, and it was great, and stuff they'd made up. It was in that style of traditional Irish. And then they played Runaway, which would later be their massive hit, and it was magnificent. And this was a local group. I was thinking, they are brilliant, and they were so young. They were magnificent. That was the chorus. In those days, it was 3 girls, 3 sisters, a brother, and the brother's friend. So it was 3 girls and 2 guys. And they were just unbelievable. And I got to hear them as a warm-up group, unplugged, meters from me, feet from me. And they were just brilliant. They were actually so brilliant when they played. I actually forgotten I was at a Celine Dion concert. I wanted them to play the entire evening. I wanted them to play. And then they went off again. They were so good that when Celine Dion eventually played, not so good. Not so good. It's like Al Pacino coming out to do a big speech, a big Shakespearean speech. But before he does that, he gets goes back in time and gets Laurence Olivier to be his warm-up man. To me, that's the comparison. I love the chorus. I loved their first hit. And I felt like when I heard it on the radio and other people hadn't heard that song before, I just went, I heard them live, unplugged and right in my face. So, yeah, I feel very privileged that I heard the chorus in 1995, unplugged, close enough where I could have stolen that violin.
Tough question, like favourite Irish song. Most days I'll probably give you a different answer, but today I'm going to go with The Town I Love So Well by Phil Coulter. Also the writer of the song, and Luke Kelly's version I'd imagine is probably the more popular and well-known version in my experience, but I've always preferred Phil Coulter's version. I think just the fact that it's autobiographical, that, you know, there's something you can't really put your finger on about that. In fact, he wrote the song, it's about his life experience, and it's about the city he grew up in. there's just something to that, you know, something ethereal. Yeah, I never really grew up listening to this type of music. It was really just the background that I'm from. It wasn't until my late teens, early 20s I started getting into like Irish folk music, and my gateway into that was through American country and folk music. And it's the same thing for both. What draws me to them is the storytelling. You know, it's the humanity and the storytelling. And this song has that. It has everything you want out of that. There, it has, you know, just the love of where he's from, and the nuances of the people and their daily activities. And it obviously goes into the tragedy of what happened back then. But I think what always really struck me towards the end of it is that it ends on a hopeful note, even for being written in that time period. I think the line goes something like, "I can only pray for a bright brand new day in the town I loved so well." And that just shivers up my spine thinking about that, you know. And yeah, fair enough, the song's about Derry, but I'm from Belfast, but I think like, it doesn't really matter where you're from here, you know. I think everyone can kind of relate to that in some sense, you know. And it's, you know, I think it really well, the songs of that period, the fact that it's I'd say it's a bit more politically neutral than the rest of them, you know, and it talks about, obviously, you know, the kind of human tragedy of what happened and how that affected people, and it's just to this day very powerful.
Hello, my name is Sean McQuaid. I'm from Brody TV, and these are my favourite Irish songs. The recent Irish song I sing is called Brave Ireland. I recorded a girl called Niamh McDowell. You'll see it on my YouTube channel and many other social outlets. Yeah, brilliant song. I never heard of it before. It's done by Ellie Marie O'Dwyer. I think that's how you say her name. Oops, I hope she's not watching this. Yeah, she even seen it herself and she loved it. It's just one of those lovely, soft songs about Ireland. It's a love song, but you gotta check it out. That's amazing. And second song, Fairy Tale New York. You know, classic. We're just off Christmas there. Still celebrate it, obviously. Yeah, Kirsty MacColl, beautiful voice in it. Shane McGowan, legendary. You know, starts off slow again and then kicks in. Yeah. They obviously done it better than me. Bird song. Oh, there's so many. We got Belfast Mill. You got Galway Girl. Beeswing. Beeswing is another classic. You know, sorry, Kirsty Moore. The Western Donkeys. Their cover versions, right up there. Right up there. I listen to this all the time. It's on my YouTube. You know, constantly. Boop. Beeswing. Gotta put it on. Yeah, that's all my favorite Irish songs. Can't think of any more. Well, there's loads more, but we don't got all day. Go check out Ruddy TV. Go check out New Ireland TV. Go check everything out. That's enough of me babbling on. Thank you.